Okay, so the importance of self-endo-education, okay? Endo-education, any knowledge is going to breed confidence, okay? Confidence leads to greater compassion for yourself and for others, okay? So we always want to be growing and soul growing. We always want to be soul growing. We always want to be growing, period, in life, right? So the way we have to do that as Endo warriors is we have to make ourselves knowledgeably equipped for our case. Not one case the same, right? But diagnosis is only step one for your endo reality, and it continues from there. And you have to be your own best advocate. If you haven't experienced situations like that before, I am sure by now you've seen other women experience it in the community. But you have to be your own best advocate, because there are so many doctors out there that are saying that they are true experts or knowledgeably enough to be cutting on you or to be prescribing you certain things or diagnosing you off of symptoms alone. Experts need to be doing this. Okay, so nobody's going to care about your case as much as you do, and I cannot stress that enough. I mean, you have to own it, and that's the best way I can really put it, is because this is your life, this is your truth, and not any other body's truth and or words. Nothing they do can make you, one, ignite that light, two, equip you with enough for your case, because only you can listen to your body. Only you truly know what your body is telling you, and one thing may work for another woman and it may not work for the next. So it is so important for us to listen to our own bodies, and also be mindfully aware and open to hearing other people's experiences and stories, because like we've talked about so many times before, it can be helpful. I mean, not one case the same. But I have learned so much through the endo community, dating back to the very first time I actually knew there was a community way back in 2014 after hitting rock bottom. And that was eye-opening on so many levels. I learned a lot because I heard one woman going through this and I would try it out and it didn't work for me, and vice versa. We're all here to help each other. Okay, so equip, don't quit. That's kind of like our motto tonight, okay? Equip, don't quit. I have said before that when you have endometriosis, it feels as though you reach a point in your life, in your case, in your journey, that you feel as though you have it all figured out, you can manage it, and then boom, everything comes crumbling down, and it's like a vicious cycle. Okay, it is for me. For so many years, I was stuck in this vicious cycle that I just could not break. But I couldn't break that cycle until I started taking the necessary steps. Okay, knowledgeably equipping yourself is step one. And then step two, you have to actually implement it. Step three, you have to continue to implement it. I'm telling you, if you really commit to what it is that your body is telling you, coupled with, everything else, and I know it can sound so overwhelming, but it's doable, okay? It's doable to figure out your case, what works best for you, pain management-wise, hormone therapy-wise, doctor-wise. This is your case, okay? So once you get all of that figured out and you are firing on all cylinders, mind, body, and soul, I'm telling you, it is going to connect. You are going to grow. You are going to figure out your case. You are going to be able to live. You are going to be able to create a life outside of the negative parts and dark parts of endometriosis. I want to share a little bit about my backstory. I definitely wanted to talk about when I surrendered in 2014 from my debilitating pain and depression from endometriosis. And I had a choice to change or remain stuck in the dark, just like all of us do. All of us have that choice. But I didn't have to make it, or at least I didn't feel I had to make it until I hit rock bottom. And when I did, it didn't take me long to flip that switch for me to decide that I was worth the fight. So my first surgery was at 13. My official diagnosis was 13 years later. Okay, even after they opened me up at 13 years old, I was rushed to the hospital, emergency surgery. They thought it was my appendix. I collapsed at school. Okay, I collapsed at school from the pain. They opened me up. My appendix is healthy. They go ahead and take it. And they discovered that both of my ovaries were covered in endometriomas at 13 years old. At 13 years old, I was having surgery. I had my first transvaginal ultrasound. I was going through a lot, and not one person, not one doctor, not one person that had eyes on me mentioned endometriosis. I didn't get my official diagnosis until 13 years later, married with 2 kids. So I have had 5 total surgeries, leveling up each doctor, that led me to Dr. DeLumba, endo expert Dr. DeLumba in Denton, Texas, and he is the one that performs my back-to-back 4th and 5th surgery. He then, we'll get to that in just a moment, but each surgery I lost a piece of me. Okay, 5 total surgeries. First one at 13. 13, I didn't lose anything except for my healthy appendix. But in these 5 surgeries, I lost my left ovary that was completely adhered to my pelvic wall. Endo traveled up to my diaphragm on the left side the first time, and on the right side the second time. And I've been told that that is super rare, like 1% of endo cases. It's said to be able to travel up, or it has traveled up to the diaphragm. And so for it to come back twice, that was just mind-blowing to me. The second time it was cut out from the right side, it was by endo expert Dr. DeLumba, thank goodness. So my next surgery, my most recent one with Dr. DeLumba, I lost my remaining ovary, my right one. It was completely adhered to my uterus. There was no saving it. So he had to actually take out my uterus as well. So I have no reproductive parts left. My uterus was diagnosed with adenomyosis, and my intestines were adhered together. I deal with intestinal adhesions. So I totally understand a lot of what these women, you souls go through. And I know that there is life after surrendering. I know that there is life after hitting rock bottom. I know it because I'm living it. I lived it. I'm still doing it. It's not I'm cured and I'm, I have the cure to endo. No, it's not that at all. It's that I have equipped myself and I don't quit applying it. Period. I equipped myself for my case and I didn't stop applying it. The medical field is only partial of what needs to be done when it comes to taking care of our bodies, especially when it comes to endometriosis. They are a wonderful tool to have, the medical field, but it is not the only life-saving option out there. It is a tool. It is an option. We are the change. They can do as much as they can do and they've been trained to do. We have to step up too. We really, really do. And in doing that, we not only free ourselves and give ourselves permission to grow, to soul grow, to be radically honest about our lives, because so much can fuel this disease. So much, okay? It's more than just the doctors, okay? It's more than just the misdiagnosis and the surgeries, and yeah, it's more than that. That's just partial, okay? Then we have to step up and say, okay, now I am knowledgeably equipped and I'm not gonna quit. I know XYZ needs to be applied to my case. Or, I know that XYZ, I don't want that to be a part of my case, whether it be pharmaceutical drugs or having to have surgery every year, like I was having to do for, it seemed like forever. It was 5 surgeries, but I don't want that for myself. I don't, and I don't want it for anybody else. I understand that surgery is necessary. I do, because I've had to have them. I understand that, and I'm not saying or promoting do not have surgery. I'm simply saying we need to step up and do our part as well. We have to be radically honest about our lives, okay? About our environment, about our diet, about our lifestyle, about the people that we choose to be around us. So much plays into this disease. I never understood that. I never did, and that is why, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about spreading that, because I didn't. If I would have known that, if I would have known this then, I would have applied it right away. And that's where we have to make change, create change, and be the change, because whenever we research or look up endo or options, the only thing that I see, and I'm sure you the same, is surgery, pharmaceutical drugs, ER visits, doctor, practicing medicine. No cure, no genius ideas, well, except for Dr. DeLumba, and we'll get to that in a moment with his second look surgery and testing of the hormone receptors. But other than that, I have yet to see any other doctor that is trying to think outside the box. That is not just repetitive surgeries, just repetitive surgery. No, but it's like saying we're missing something. These women are not getting better. And I'm telling you, my change did not come just because Dr. DeLumba did my operation. He was a huge piece of the puzzle. Do not get me wrong, okay? Because part of my story is we did not have insurance in the very beginning of my journey. And my diagnostic surgery was so dehumanizing, y'all. It was terrible. It was through a teaching hospital. The doctor was barely out of residency and operating on me, my diagnostic surgery. And he not only, was practicing on me, if you will, but he performed ablation and didn't even give me an option. I didn't know back then, wasn't equipped, had no clue that there was 2 different types of surgeries. Ablation, where they burn it off, and they typically do unless you request it because of insurance purposes, which is outrageous. Most insurances don't cover the correct procedure that needs to be done, which is excision surgery. So I wasn't given that option, and I guess it was because I was at a teaching hospital. So my passion for what I do, it comes from a very, very close, a deep, deep part of my heart and soul, as I know a lot of you can relate to because of what we have walked. And so where I am today and what I have learned, I just want to continue sharing it, because like I said, it is so much more than just going to the doctor and having repetitive surgeries, being put on birth control, depot shots, IUDs, pain pills. Y'all, it's masking it, first of all. It's masking it. For the longest time, I was terrified, absolutely terrified to get off of pain pills, okay? I was terrified. Why? Because